welcome to episode 2 of Teach Rick Crypto, which still does not have a better name. Um, we really got to work on that. Someone said Bitcoin Boot Camp. Someone else said DeFi for Dummies, even though it's kind of harsh. I still kind of like that. DeFi for Dipshits would be funny, but
I like that one, but
yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that one over the line. But yeah, we still need a name for this other than Teach Rick Crypto, because hopefully it's teaching a bunch of folks things they didn't know about Web3 and crypto, etc. So
Yep.
This is Rick. I'll be taught crypto, even though we still need a better name. And I am joined, of course, by Joshua and JCV. And we have another slideshow to run through. So over to you, Black Hole Scientist.
All right. So this is going to be a lot like the last one, where, I've got lots of questions for you. We're sort of going over the last of the basic concepts that you need to really get your hands around all this insanity.
All right.
And today our focus is on wallets and everything around that. We're not going to do any like actual practical wallet work. We'll do that. We should do that soon. But I think one more, theoretical, conceptual one is still worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
And this is what we're going to cover: wallets, signing, hardware wallets, gas, block explorers, and then again at the end we will have a quiz.
Okay. I'm really glad gas is part of this because that confuses me so much.
Yes, and it is confusing. And it's actually simple. It's just not usually explained. We sort of smooth over it and pretend like, meh, of course. It's obvious, right? But it's not.
Yeah. It's like everyone just accepts that there's like this fee and there's more fees at other times just to like move your cryptocurrency around and like do on-chain tasks. But like it's never really been explained to me like why the hell.
Great. Then we're going to get there. So let's start. What's a wallet? Not even crypto. I just want to know, what does the word wallet even mean to you?
It's a thing you keep money, credit cards, your license, pictures of pets, probably receipts you will never use again, stuff like that. Yeah, it holds your stuff.
Yep, you put stuff in it. That sounds right. That is the sort of normal, real-world definition of a wallet.
Yeah, you put stuff in it.
Okay, but that's not what a crypto wallet is at all.
What?
There is literally nothing in your wallet.
What the hell are you talking about? That's where my tokens go.
No, that's not.
What?
Your wallet's a key. Nothing more than that.
Oh, all right.
And see, this is one of the big concepts that is a problem for people.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
A wallet's where you hold stuff. And in crypto, it's not. Now,
okay.
The reason for this disconnect is, remember, Bitcoin was originally trying to be kind of sort of like currency. So, Satoshi and all of the early authors followed along using the same, terminology that you'd use in traditional money. And sometimes they really had to stretch the meaning of things. And a wallet's one of them. We're really stretching what wallet means. So actually, in crypto, all of your funds live on the blockchain. And we'll come back to what that means in a little bit. But it's a lot more like an ATM card. Think about your ATM card. Is there any money in it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because my ATM card is the key that unlocks my real money.
Yes. But there's no money in it, right? It's just a thin little piece of plastic with a, chip on it.
Right.
No money on it, but it lets you get to your money. So the way crypto lets you get to your money is sort of similar to what the ATM card does. The ATM card acts like a key and it proves that it's you and it's not someone else.
Okay.
And in crypto, that's done with signing. In the ATM card, it's done with, there's a little chip that says, hey, this is the chip and your 4-digit PIN, and that's almost worthless. But
right.
The physically having the chip is what does it. In a crypto wallet, it's about signing, and that's how you prove that you're you.
Okay.
But what's actually in your wallet? Like, how do we sign? So in crypto, you need, since crypto, it's all about math. And signing is usually where the case of you have, you've got one big number and use it to sign another big number. For your wallet, when you set up a wallet, you get these 24 words, your seed phrase, which is just a representation of that, that big number that's really secret that you can never say anywhere, can never share with anyone, because that's what proves you're the one who can do something with those funds.
Right.
And so that the thing that the seed phrase represents, the private key or number that it represents, is the only thing that's actually in your wallet. Now, again, we're back to what is a crypto wallet? So since we already answered what a regular wallet is, if you want to go do something with a crypto wallet, what do you go to? Where do you use it?
I mean, I have a ledger now, but
Previously you had a software wallet.
yes.
And then you had, later on you got a ledger, which is a hardware wallet. And why are they different?
Yes. Well, one I physically have, the other can be like browser extensions, which doesn't seem super safe to me.
And you're right, that is where the difference is, security.
Nice.
So when it's in your browser, remember there's that seed phrase, those 24 words that you never want to expose. When you're using a software wallet where it's something that in your web browser, there's always the chance that something can expose your private key.
That's hilarious. Sorry, the image, not what you were just saying.
No. I was very happy with that image. I was kind of happy to slip that guy in. But I mean, that's the thing. Your wallet is the most important thing for you in crypto. And when it's in a web browser, you're always taking the chance that, because the web browser is probably the least secure thing on your computer.
Oh my, okay.
And there's a lot of reasons for that, and they're all terrible, but it's a huge, just, attack surface that could always go and expose something you don't want exposed. So that's why, and also software wallets are also called hot wallets. That's why the hardware key, like your ledger, is safer.
Right.
So now that we've covered wallets somewhat, I want to talk about gas, because this is well, for one thing, the fact that your money is not in your wallet, I know, is one of the big, conceptual problems. The other is gas.
Right.
So in crypto, you need gas to do anything. So what about, let's go back to, traditional finance or legacy finance. When you use your credit card, who pays?
The credit card company.
But Visa's not doing it out of the goodness of their heart, right?
No, we have to pay them back.
No, well, you pay them. So I buy I go into the store and I buy beer with my credit card.
Okay.
So I just spent like probably nearly $20 for a 4-pack of something.
Of course.
It's probably a pretty good microbrew, but anyway, I pay like $20 for it. I hand the guy at the store my Visa. He swipes it, and then later I pay Visa the $20 back.
Yes.
Great. But if that's the way it works, why does Visa want me as a customer if I always just give them back the money?
Because sometimes you don't, and they can charge interest and stuff, like if you have like larger balances.
They can do that, but doesn't that mean that, but there's another way they make money. They do charge fees.
I wasn't aware of that.
And that is one of the things that crypto was trying to do better. It's not clear. Like the beer distributor, in my example, just, he gets charged maybe 2 or 3%.
All right.
Never clear to me. And so now you have more and more places that are saying, well, maybe we're going to charge if you pay with a credit card instead of cash, we're going to charge the fee to the person. We're going to, pass that fee back to you. And are they doing exactly the same amount? Who knows? The point is, it's totally not opaque where the money to make your money move goes.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it's not clear at all.
And that's one of the problems. With crypto, it is clear. If I want to move money from me to you, I have to pay the network a little bit of money to sort of fund the network and to make everything happen.
But why if the network already exists?
Because the network needs to keep existing. It costs money to run those Bitcoin miners. It costs money to run the Bitcoin nodes. It costs money to run the Ethereum nodes.
So it goes into like the greater ecosystem and not like, it just goes, it's really hard to even verbalize.
Yeah, no, it is. But think back to the credit card example. With the payment processors, they need to make some money for them to be willing to, make that transaction easier. Where, I just swipe a card and then the guy gets his money later and all of that.
Okay.
Even though they've already built their network, it costs them money to keep doing it.
Okay.
Crypto's the same, except it's all transparent.
Right, because you can see every transaction on the blockchain.
Right. And because they make it so that the person doing the person initiating the transaction, the person who does it, pays that fee in terms of gas.
Right.
And that gas goes to, so in Bitcoin, the gas goes to the miners.
Okay.
And that's sort of the money that you pay to help keep the network going.
Okay.
So everyone has to chip in a little. If you're going to use the network, you have to chip in a little to keep the network going.
So it's not so much gas as it is like almost like a mandatory donation, if you will.
Yes. Yeah, that's much closer to it.
Okay.
Gas is a weird analogy. Like the analogy for gas is kind of sketchy in terms of it doesn't map that well onto what's happening.
Okay. So wallets and gas aren't what they say they are.
No.
But it's just, I guess it's just like an opaque way to get people to just understand and kind of just accept it, and that's what it is.
Yeah. It's an analogy. They're trying to come up they were trying to provide an analogy for what's actually happening to let us talk about it easier, but the hope was to make people understand it easier. I'd argue that particular hope failed pretty spectacularly.
Yeah, all right. That does make a lot of sense. So, okay, yeah, you're calling it gas because it's funding transactions, but realistically,
calling it gas because it makes things move.
Yeah, but it's just ensuring the network continues in perpetuity.
It's for if you're going to use the network, you have to, do your part to pay for some of it. And that's the purpose of gas.
Okay.
It also prevents you from, abusing the network. So think about email. I can send as many goddamn emails as I want. And I can make all sorts of a mess, as spammers have. Because there's effectively no cost to sending an email.
Right.
With Bitcoin and then Ethereum later and all that, and everyone later, they didn't want people to be able to spam the network and, clog up the network with maybe even zero value transactions.
Right. So it's okay. So it's a higher priority and that's why you're paying for it. Whereas like with basic internet, you're already paying a provider. So who the hell cares how many emails you spend?
Yeah. Or so I can send, what if there was no gas, I could send you 0 Ethereum.
Right. Just
1,000,000 times. And it would use up all the block space and it would cost me nothing to do and Ethereum would be unusable.
Right. Because then you have to assume that other people would be doing that. And then the people doing actual real work and trying to send transactions, they would get clogged and the whole thing would be useless.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so gas just means we have, and the one other thing about gas is it does vary, which I think you mentioned before, but it varies based on how many people are using the network at the time and other factors like that.
Gotcha. So that's like, for instance, like during testnet when there were like tons of miners on at say like Asia Pacific time, people would wait and use it later when like gas fees were cheaper.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you and I both do a transaction at the same time, let's say we both do a transaction and the miner only has room to put one more transaction in the block, they're going to do the one that pays them a little better.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because it's like it benefits the overall network.
Right. So because the miner has to have a way to make a decision.
Right.
And your transaction will still go in. It just might go in a little later when there's, more room. Or you could pay more if you wanted in sooner.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all there is to gas.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, so then there's only one more topic I wanted to mention.
Oh, this is an easy one then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because these are important concepts. Like these are ones you need to fully wrap your head around to get this.
This is okay. So this is the calm before the storm in other episodes where we bring in like Max and people who are gonna like ultimately confuse me, and it leads to like a 2-hour episode.
Exactly.
Okay.
This one is you need these building blocks and you need them good.
Totally.
So this one, we said before that we already fully covered your money is not in your wallet; it's in the blockchain.
Yes.
And the way you would usually look at that, where it would make the most sense is you go to a blockchain explorer, whether it's for Ethereum Etherscan or our Explorer for Hemi. And if you were to look, and those show these, those have no connection to your wallet, but they show the state of what's going on the network.
Okay.
And you can look up your address in there, and it'll show you what the current funds available. So the problem is, we like to say that there you have, 50 Hemi tokens in your wallet. Like we've probably all said something like that.
Yes.
And that's bullshit. That is completely not true.
Right.
You do not have, as we, saw before, you don't have any tokens in your wallet. You have 50 Hemi tokens available to your wallet.
Right. And my seed phrase is the key of how I access those and can then move them around.
And if you were to look at the Explorer on your wallet, you would see what's available to it, and you could, trace back and forth where those tokens came from. If you move them, you can trace where they're going. And that's why the Explorers are really the best view of what the chain looks like, even more clearly than your wallet.
Okay.
And when we do an actual, DeFi thing, we'll do a practical, using the Explorer.
I'm very excited for that.
I didn't want to mix the practical and the conceptual.
Okay.
Because I'm a theorist and I don't like that. But anyway, we're up to the review. So I want to hear, Joshua and I would like to hear what you learned.
Okay. A wallet is not a wallet. It's actually a key to unlocking your funds that exist on the blockchain. So it's more of a conduit to your funds where, it's more like a door if you think about it. Whereas your seed phrase is the key.
I wish I had the, I had my Keymaster. I don't have the Gatekeeper image in my thing.
Right. So it's like Zool and Vince Clortho. Okay. Totally. So it's like a gate. Your seed phrase is the key, and that unlocks the funds available to you that you have but exist on the blockchain. Gas is a mandatory donation that exists to perpetuate the network and keeps the miners mining, the transactions flowing, and also is a stopgap for people to use useless transactions that could then complicate the network, slow things down to a crawl, or ultimately stop it. So you have to have this in place in order to make it more difficult for spammers, but also to keep the network going in perpetuity. And it's different than Web 2 because we pay internet companies for internet. So who gives a shit how many emails or pictures of cats or the Predator we send to each other? How'd I do?
I think you covered it. Joshua, what do you think?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So
it also sounds like you learnt something about credit cards.
I did.
Yes. Yeah. Rick, I think you did learn something about the way credit cards work too.
Right.
That wasn't even intentional.
Do you want to ask me anything from our last session and see if I still remember?
That is a good idea. Okay. How about what's a smart contract?
I am so glad you asked. A smart contract is for the example of if you give a Komodo dragon $1, it will give you a lemon. So much like an actual contract, it's something put in place that makes sure that something does something all the time. So a smart contract will execute only that thing. So going back to the Komodo dragon example from last time, so glad we get to talk about Komodo dragons again because they're fascinating creatures. If you gave the Komodo dragon an avocado, it would not give you a lemon. You have to give it $1.
That is all correct. Let's see. Joshua, do you want to ask him a question?
It's not related to last time, but you got a ledger.
Yes.
Did you learn anything setting that up?
No. I did not, because I actually asked a lot of questions during it, and there's still some stuff that I need to be schooled on, to be perfectly honest. I winged it, and the Ledger app was actually pretty helpful and straightforward. I did learn that I wrote down my seed phrase and put it in a safe place, and I will never share it with anyone. And my ledger is also in a safe place.
Cool.
Yes, that's good. You weren't that way. You're not worried about that happening.
Exactly. I don't want to expose myself or my private key. I don't want to expose either. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, and neither is a good idea.
No, there's laws against one, and it's probably for the best.
All right. How about?
I think I can kind of riff on proof of work.
Oh, that's the one I was gonna ask about. I wanted to hear a little about that.
Okay. Proof of work is the one where people who are mining, right? Whatever miner's like system comes up with the number, it makes the next block in the chain. So it's almost like not necessarily a race, but almost like a contest to see which block gets produced next. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Hell yeah. I'm not studying, by the way. It was just a really good explanation.
No, that's good. Let's see. I think those were the main points. So, are there any things from this one or last one that you want to talk about again?
No, because last time actually was great because you also explained programmable crypto, which I never really understood. Like how can money be programmable? But it's not the money; it's the network that's programmable.
Very good. I will say I was deeply torn for this slide between the Scooby-Doo picture or what's his name from G.I. Joe? Zartan.
Oh, Zartan would be very good.
I was torn. I couldn't decide which way to go.
I do like this one. Okay. Well, that was great. And wow, this is actually a short episode, but I assume the next one is going to be lengthy.
This would be the last, like, real just conceptual.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to continue this process because it's super helpful. And honestly, guys, if I can learn this, you can learn this, and we really hope it helps.
Thanks, everyone, and hope you learned something. That's all we're trying to do here. If something in this, whole insane space is a little clearer to you after this, then we did something right.
And so thank you for joining us for another episode of the show that still needs a name. Hopefully when we post these, we post them with the name. So this whole diatribe is useless because we'll have a cool name, we'll have a cool graphic, it'll be great. But for now, it's still called Teach Rick Crypto, and apparently this is the logo, the white text on black. So we're gonna get there, everyone. But thank you for tuning in. I hope you find this useful, and I hope you're looking forward to the next one. So thank you to John, thank you to Josh, and we will see you on episode 3.